Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. Vijayendra Singh Tawar, Associate Professor in English. And in this COVID period, the series of video lecture which is being prepared by me in this connection. Today's video is meant for the students of class BA part first, subject English literature, paper second. And in this video, we will discuss the second part of explanation of Francis Bacon famous essay of studies. Here I would like to remind you that in the previous video I gave you the explanation of the first part. Though overall the essay is very short of just 50 lines, but if we go if in the explanation, for the explanation, in detailed explanation, we need more space and time as compared to other writers, because Bacon is known for his style, and his style is aphoristic. Aphoristic means concise, means he used to use minimum words to give great thought. What he had to say, he used to say in the fewest possible words. That is why we need two video to make the explanation of this essay possible. Now let us come to the author. The author name is Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon was born in 1561 and died 1626. It is Elizabethan period, or we can say he was a contemporary of William Shakespeare. Both of them lived in the same age, same period. Bacon is, William Shakespeare was a famous playwright, and Bacon was a famous essayist or literary person, as a politician. About Bacon, it is said that if the Alexander Pope has said, if the parts allude how Bacon signed, he was the wisest, brightest, and meanest of mankind. He was very intelligent, at the same time mean, a person of mean character also. So that is his personal life. But as far as his literature is concerned, or the composition which he has produced and presented before us, he is regarded as a great author. And he was the first person who started writing essay in English. That is why he is known as the father of English essays. He was the first person who introduced a new genre into the literature of his country. About his essays, it is said that they are a treasure house of what is called worldly wisdom. Worldly wisdom means the kind of wisdom that is necessary for achieving worldly success. Worldly wisdom does not imply any deep philosophy or any ideal morality. It does not talk about the moral ways. Means he does not advocate means. He advocates only ends. It simply means the art or technique that a man should employ to achieve success in his life. Bacon is fully justified in describing his essays as dispersed meditations. Means he said that what he has written are actually, he has scattered great ideas for the public. His style is unique, his concentration is unique. What he does, he selects a subject and then writes an essay on it without in the least losing sight of that subject. Means he selects a subject, then writes plus point, minus points only. He does not give the judgment that this is good or this is bad. It is left for the reader to decide what is good for them. This is his style. Now, in the essay entitled Of Studies, as I told you, Bacon's first of all published his essay in 1597. Then he 10 essays. Then in 1612 he again modifies them and included 28 more essays. And then in 1625 he published all his essays in enlarged or modified in the present form. In this essay, he examines the benefits and effects of studies, maintaining that when studies are balanced by experience, means are used by the practical behavior or practical knowledge or common sense, diverse studies may help counteract personal imperfections. At the same time, if a human being has some weakness in his character or in his mind, they can also be cured by different studies. The purpose of the essay is to persuade the readers to study as well as to instruct the reader on how to study if they are to make the best of what they read. It's how they can be benefited in the best manner by a particular study. He does this by using many rhetorical devices and substantiations to prove his arguments. Now let us come to the explanation. As I told you that these lines, which are written in bold as well as in blue color, they are the text actually which was written by Bacon. And here I have given you the meanings of the difficult words. As I told you, Bacon has written in aphoristic, concise, means what he has said, he has used fewest possible words. So it will be very helpful to go through the meanings at the same time, simultaneously. Some books are to be tasted. See the author what he says. See one sentence, or you can say one structure which completes here, how he balances the different ideas. Some books are to be tasted. Means he has stated that there are many books. Out of many, there are some selected books which are to be tasted. Tasted means read in parts or sample. Just sample should be taken, or just in our home, in order to taste the sweetness or sometimes salt, we taste just a small amount of that thing. In the same way, there are some books which should be only sampled or tasted. Then others to be swallowed. And there are many other books which to be swallowed, read hastily or not with great care. There are other books which we should not give much attention. And some few means negligible. Few to be chewed and digested. They should be given more attention or read carefully, and the content of these books should be digested inwardly. Chewed and read carefully, and the material in it taken in fully by one's mind. For a few books, the contents of which are to be read very thoroughly and inwardly digested. Now the author himself explains this, that is means some books are to be read only in parts, sampled. Others to be read but not curiously, with not attention. Curiously means with attention, carefully. Just as you can say, skip over. And some books, few books to be read wholly. There are limited number of books which to be read totally and with diligence, with hard work, with painstakingly and attention. Means there are some very, very good books which to be read with great care, and the contents of them should be remembered by a reader all his life. So in this way, he has expressed his views on about books. In these lines, the author has compared reading of books with eating of food, and the metaphor is well, you could say, highly suggestive. It put the idea into mind clearly. In the next, some books also may be read by duty. By duty means through somebody else, by assistant. There are certain varieties of books which should be read by assistants, and extracts made of them by others. Extract means summaries, synopsis of them should be made by others. But that would be here means should be, ought to be, with great care, only in the less important arguments. Arguments, subjects for consideration. Means with the subjects on which these books are written are less important. Only such books should be selected to be read by others, to make the summaries of them available for you. And the meaner sort of books, there are some books which are can be called mean, which are not very important. Else, now see again the simile, distilled books are like common distilled waters, fleshy things. Now, before we go further, let me explain you what is the meaning of distilled. Distilled means when something is purified. For example, water is distilled water means some kind of minerals which may be very healthy for a human body are extracted from it, and that water is called distilled water. Now, distilled water is pure water, but it does not contain those minerals which make it tasty. So in the same way, distilled books means the books of which summaries have been made. Fleshy things means insipid, tasteless, and giving no pleasure. The idea is just we can compare summaries of books to distilled water. Just as distilled water is tasteless and gives no pleasure, so also summaries are insipid, tasteless, and one does not enjoy reading them. The essence of the book is lost. Means the main thing, main idea of the book is lost while making the summaries, because we leave many important information while making the synopsis of a particular book. Now, this is one of the most important paragraph of this essay, and it often comes in exam for explanation and also in IAS exams. These 1.5 line. The author says, reading makes a full man. Now you have 3 words, a full man, conference, a ready man, means a ready man, writing an exact man. Now, what is the meaning of a full man? I will given full man means a man with a well-developed mind, well-informed person. Means if you will keep on reading different books, you will get the knowledge and your mind will be well-informed. Conference means conversation, discussion. Ready means ready to answer, to quick-witted person, never at a loss what to say at a particular moment, because he will be always ready. If he will discuss, he will discuss and become, his mind will become so fertile that in whatever situation he may be, he will be able to answer or face it confidently. That is why he is a ready man. Writing here means making notes, making down notes by reading some books. An exact man, exact here means a perfect person, precise and correct in every detail, we can say. If you have the habit of making notes, you will get so much experience that you will become perfectly suitable in every, correct in every detail. You will get so much experience. If so, we should do all the 3 things. We also should read, we should converse, and we should write. And therefore, if a man write little, I told you that if you do not find a, that is article A before little or few, it means negligible. Write little means almost nil, none. He had, need have a. Had, need have is another phrase at that time which was used. Means must have, should have a great memory. If you do not write, then it is natural that you can overcome it only when you have a great memory. If he confer little, converse, if you do not converse, not naturally or normally, he had need have a present wit. His wit means his my presence of mind is required. If he read little, means if he doesn't have the habit of reading books, he had need have much cunning. Then that person must be very shrewd or cunning, means quick, intelligent, to seem to know that he doth not know. He should pretend that he know many things. In reality, he may not know them. Then only he will get success. Now the author tells us that there are many drawbacks in the individuals and how different subjects help us in overcoming and getting benefit from different subjects. These have been discussed in these remaining lines or concluding lines. The author says, histories make men wise. If we study history, they make people wise. Why? Because men gain wisdom by reading history, because it records the knowledge and experience of human race of the past. Poets uses their imaginative power. So the person who reads poets, he will become imaginative. Mathematics subtle, clever, cunning, refined intellect, or capable of making fine distinction. Mathematics is very, we can say, sharp subject. You require cunningness in order to know the distinction between one and other thing. Natural philosophy, science, physics, chemistry, biology, etc. They will even profound trait. They will impart depth in the character. Moral grave. If you read moral books, you will become serious. Logic, reasoning, and rhetoric, persuasive speech. These are able to contain. Able to if you read them, you will become able to debate and argue well. Then the author says, "Abunt studia in mors." This is a Latin phrase. It means in English, studies pass into the character. Means a man's character is influenced by what he studies. Name means more than that. There is no stone, drawback, weakness, hindrance, obstacle, disability, or impediment. Why that is hindrance in the mind of the person. There is no impediment or hindrance or drawback or disability in the mind of man, but may be wrote out, cured, removed by fit studies. Means if you select appropriate subject, you can remove that weakness from the mind. Like as disease of the body may have appropriate exercise, just as in our body, if we have some weaknesses, some disease, by doing particular exercise, we can remove them, we can overcome them. In the same way, we can overcome the drawback of mind by selecting a particular subject. Now the author says, he says, bowling is good for the stone and ribs. Bowling is a game in malls and other indoor games in which a person takes a ball and throws it towards other standing symbols, which are known as balls, which the ball go there and hit them. If it make fall all of them, then the thrower of the ball is known as winner, or points are given to that person. This is a game. So this game is very helpful in curing the disease of stone and kidneys. Shooting means archery for lungs and breast is good for lungs. We can cure lungs disease. Gentle walking for stomach. If you are having a stomach problem, you should walk gently. Riding for the head, to concentrate, to make your head intelligent, you should go on horse riding and the like. In the same way, there are many you can exercise which are fit for different disease of the body. So similarly, if a man's wit be wandering, suppose a person is wandering, means he is not able to concentrate on a particular subject, let him study the mathematics. Then he should be given mathematics. Mathematics, why? For in demonstration, means in solving the problem of the mathematics. If his wit be called away, diverted in a slightest manner, never so little, he must begin. Then he will have to restart it. So in order to forget, or in order to become alert, he will not be wandering, but he will be concentrating on the subject which he should. Now the last part, or we can say sentence of the essay, he says, if his wit be not apt to distinguish or find differences. The author says, if suppose there is a person who is not able to differentiate between one thing and the other thing. In the past, when there were many books were available, you must have seen that two pictures of same type of pictures, and you will be asked to show or to tell the differences between these two pictures. There are 10 differences to tell. So if you are not able to do that, let him study the schoolmen. Schoolmen here means philosophers of Middle Ages. For they are simini sectors. This is again Latin, it means hair splitters. Because they used to find differences, distinctions, which are normally remain unnoticed. If he be not apt to beat over matters, good at going over the ground or so in motion of his mind to and fro, to call up one thing to prove he is not able to remember one thing to prove his point, or illustrate another, giving examples, explaining another. Let him study the lawyer's cases. Then that person should be asked to study the lawyer cases. In lawyer cases, particularly lawyers always give examples, precedent from the past case, that case number, this and this happened, that, etc. This is called precedents, with examples related to the cases in hand. So every defect of mind, every weakness of the human mind may have a special receipt. Receipt here means remedy, cure. Every kind of disease. If a person suffers in his mind, he should select that kind of subject which is needed in that, and he will be cured of that weakness. Thank you very much.